Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another 3 questions in 3 minutes with our labor power players. I am thrilled today to be joined by Commissioner Renee Campion of the New York City Office of Labor Relations. Renee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for asking me to be on. Thank you.
So can you talk a little bit about your responsibilities as commissioner? What does a day-to-day look like for you?
Sure. So my primary responsibility is that I am the chief negotiator on behalf of the mayor and the city of New York in our collective bargaining with our city's unions. We have 150 separate individual collective bargaining units, over 360,000 city employees. So that is my primary responsibility, is to negotiate those contracts, as well as managing, implementing, and enforcing those contracts. We manage the employee benefits program, the health benefits, employee benefits program, where we administer 1.3 million lives. So I mentioned there was 360,000 city employees, but there are also their spouses and dependents. So the total number of lives is 1.3 million that we oversee. So we're a small agency, a pretty relative small agency in the city, but we have a very large large reach.
Yes, small but mighty, right? You pack a punch.
Absolutely.
I imagine that the contracts and a lot of your job has shifted because of COVID. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So my regular pre-COVID 24/7 role became a lot more intense, as it did for so many other New Yorkers. Whether you worked in the public or private sector, it became more intense. The volume of decisions that we had to make for the city with City Hall was huge. We had to make decisions in real time, just within many dozens and dozens of decisions every single day. Where pre-COVID, you might take a day to make a decision, but we had to make so many simultaneously and realize, and then work off what the impact was of those decisions, and then the next day, to the extent if anything changed, have to have those conversations. I also think that what COVID also did is that it really focused on our essential workers, and it really brought their work to light. We are there, and city workers are there, and I think it really did show that essential element of their job.
Definitely. Yeah, the pandemic was illuminating in a lot of different ways, and that's a really important one. So now it kind of looks like we're hopefully coming out of it a little bit, or at least maybe shifting to more of an endemic mindset. So what are some goals that you're focused on this year? Some things that you want to accomplish in the next 8-9 months?
So my first focus is on the collective bargaining scene. We're about to begin a new round of collective bargaining. So that those, and in what we're doing is we're negotiating the wage increases for city workers, and discussing the benefits. So that's one of the first things that we'll be working on. The second thing is about managing the escalating health insurance costs. The third thing I work on is we have 2 programs under OLR in addition to negotiations and health. My Work Well, which is a worksite wellness program. We go into the agencies and we make sure we go and we do our best to make sure that city employees know that it's more than just their job. They need to look at their entire physical and mental health. And also our employee assistance program is also a huge program and has a very broad impact.
Yeah, I love that you focus on wellness too. I mean, that's another thing, right? If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we really all need to take care of ourselves. And so I'm glad that you have programs that are really looking out for people and looking out for New York workers. So thank you so much for joining me and for being a labor power player.
Thanks.